You're watching WKYT News at noon.
Good afternoon. Bill Bryant and Barbara Bailey here for WKYT News. Police arrest a man who they say claimed to be a U.S. Marshal. Neighbors called authorities telling them that the man made the claim while going door to door in Laurel County, saying that he needed to see a woman about a drug test.
WKYT's Phil Pendleton has more on the allegations in our top story at 12:30.
I am told that this actually happened late Monday night, early Tuesday morning. A man had knocked on some people's doors here on Glenview Road behind me, which is just north of London, actually in the East Bernstead area. Now, police say the man who was knocking on doors is James Lorman. He told a resident on Glenview Road that he was looking for a nearby resident who needed to be drug tested because the electricity was out. Now, it was true the electricity was out in the area, but police say they don't know why Lorman was connecting that to a woman needing a drug test, all the while it was being almost midnight.
When our officers got to the scene, that's the first thing they asked, we want to see your identification, because we weren't sure, who he was. He had no identification to identify himself as a U.S. Marshal.
Now, if that wasn't enough, police say as they were taking Lorman back to London to be processed and then taken on to jail, he actually faked having medical issues, and then back at the sheriff's department around the jail area, he actually became disruptive with police officers and had to be brought under control. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Now, Lorman was charged with impersonating a peace officer, attempting to resist arrest, disorderly conduct, and menacing. You might have to dodge a shower or a storm again this afternoon.
And it's going to take more than a dodge tomorrow, it sounds like. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is here now with a quick check of our forecast. Micah?
Well, the quick check is pretty good check as of right now. We do have a couple of showers sparking up, especially that Mountain Parkway area and 460. Those are areas that are seeing just a few showers, few blips here and there. Also, the mountain area down south, southeastern Kentucky. That's where we're seeing a couple of showers as well. Now, as we go throughout the rest of the day, we will have the opportunity to see a little bit more rain. It's hit and miss again today, so not everybody gets in on the mix. Just know this, that you do have the chance at a passing shower. Thunderstorm, 86 degrees right now in Lexington. We'll finish off in the upper 80s once again today, and also with those hit and miss storms, not just this afternoon, but evening, night, and into tomorrow. Look at 1 p.m. That's when it really cranks into gear. Tomorrow morning, we'll still have that chance to rain, but tomorrow we're still going to be seeing widespread rain in the forecast. How much are we expecting? Do we see any flash flooding concerns? We're going to talk about that and also look towards your weekend, see if we have any dry spells anytime soon. That's coming up.
All right, we'll see you in a bit with that. Thank you, Micah. We have a traffic alert for you this afternoon. North Middletown Road is blocked near Harrods Creek Road in Bourbon County. This is because of a semi-crash. Nobody was hurt, but the crash has certainly created a big mess on the road there, and the sheriff is telling us that the road will have to be blocked for several hours. Again, if you're headed that way, you might want to find an alternate route this afternoon. That is Highway 460 closed in Bourbon County.
2 people are in jail accused of allowing 3 children to live in what investigators call unfit conditions. 44-year-old Gregory Wilkerson and 25-year-old Brandy Harmon are charged with 3 counts of criminal abuse. The Boyle County Sheriff's Office says they were living in a shed behind Wilkerson's sister's home and had no electricity or running water. Deputies tell us the children had to be treated for bed bugs and extreme rashes. A woman accused in a deadly crash will stand trial next year. Sabra McCarty is charged with murder and wanton endangerment in Rowan County. Police say McCarty was drunk when her car crossed the center line of Kentucky 32, hitting Sarah Caudle's car. Caudle died. The Moorhead News reports McCarty's trial is scheduled for February 13th.
Well, thieves have targeted a Lexington park right in the middle of downtown. Police say someone stole 20 fountain heads and damaged 7 others at the Thoroughbred Park. The crime happened sometime between 10 o'clock Sunday morning and 9 o'clock Monday morning. Each fountain head costs $130 to replace, a price that people in Lexington would rather not have to pay.
It's going to cost the taxpayers more to get them put back on, and since I'm a taxpayer here in town, I'd rather have my taxes go for other things, education, roads, than have to come out and fix a public park.
Police say they have no suspects in the fountain situation as of right now. A Kentucky woman who suffered a head injury in a cycling event in France has now returned to the U.S. In a post on Facebook, former state auditor and former Secretary of State Bob Babbage says his wife Laura was stable enough to be moved from France to Lexington. She is now in the neurosurgery trauma unit at UK Hospital. Because she is in critical condition, only immediate family and clergy are being allowed to see her. But Babbage says his family is certainly grateful for everyone's prayers and thoughts at this time. Well, a federal judge has ordered the man who shot President Ronald Reagan and 3 others to be released from a mental health hospital.
Now, he's been there full-time since 1981. But the judge now says he's not a danger to himself or others. Wee Jang has more on the decision.
John Hinckley Jr. will soon be headed to his mother's house in Williamsburg, Virginia, where he will live full-time. Hinckley tried to assassinate President Ronald Reagan in 1981. He said he wanted to impress actress Jodie Foster. 3 others, including Press Secretary James Brady, were also hit. Hinckley was found not guilty by reason of insanity and has been undergoing psychiatric treatment since then. The release comes with many conditions, including Hinckley must continue his mental health treatments in both Washington, D.C. and in Williamsburg. He's not allowed to talk with the media, and he's not allowed to Google himself, research weapons, porn, or his victims. Sandra Kokersberger worked at the hospital where Hinckley was treated.
I don't think they should fear him because I don't think that he's a danger to anyone.
When Hinckley comes to D.C. for treatment, he will not be allowed to come here to the Hilton Hotel, the scene of the shooting, and he'll be required to give authorities his exact route from his home to the hospital. Hinckley is also forbidden from going near any president, vice president, or highly elected officials.
From now until the day John Hinckley dies, the Secret Service will be a part of his life.
Hinckley has had music therapy as part of his treatment and has expressed interest in recording an album. Wee Jang, CBS News, Washington.
Now, Hinckley's release could come as early as next week. Well, if you buy food at Meijer, there's a recall you'll want to know about. The store is recalling some markets of Meijer salads and sandwiches because of possible salmonella contamination. Meijer says the products contain cooked eggs from Prime Foods LLC. Customers should throw the food away or return it to Meijer. We have a list of affected products on WKYT.com.
Well, it's a way to thank first responders for serving in the community. Today, the Gold Star Chili in Pulaski County is holding First Responder Appreciation Day. All first responders can stop by there and get a free meal until 9 o'clock tonight. Our Better Living Report is on the way. Coming up, another risk factor for diabetes 2 that may surprise you.
And more strong evidence that you need to get up and move. That's next on WKYT.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Well, we're looking at a couple blips spark up right now, and that's over toward 460 Mountain Parkway, eastern Kentucky as we speak. But let me tell you this, we'll start to see a few more spark up in the hours to come. So there's not much outside right now, but where there is, I mean, you're talking about some heavy downpours. Salyersville, go off toward West Liberty, picking up on some rain at this moment. Southern portions, just south of 460, southern portions of Morgan County. A lot of that moving toward the east. Paintsville getting a downpour. Next in line, Paintsville, you got another storm right behind that, right as it moves along 460. So just keep in mind, if that continues, then we're going to be talking about some flooding concerns over in Paintsville and Johnson County here within the next hour or two. So watch out for that. We'll keep you updated as we go throughout the next few hours. Past 7 out of 8 days. 7 out of 8 days. Barb talked about it this morning, how we have been in these patterns all summer long where it's really rainy and you take that about a week. Then it goes into a really hot pattern like we had last week. 7 out of 8 days, 90 to 95 degrees. It was not nice. It felt awful. It's still very, very humid outside right now, but it looks like most of us are going to stay below 90 degrees today. And you can see as we track off into the rest of the afternoon, look at these numbers, okay? 85, 86, 87, right? 88. But watch this. Watch when the rain begins, it starts to drop it back down. So, yeah, toward the afternoon, it's hit and miss. You're not going to see a tremendous amount of rain today in about 90% of our location. If you get one storm after another, that's when it is a game changer. But look overnight. Look at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Waking up, getting outside, taking off toward work, 5, 6, 7 a.m., maybe even 8 a.m. And we're talking about some scattered showers, even a few rumbles of thunder. But watch this as we get toward the afternoon. This is where it becomes more widespread. Not just widespread, but look at what we're looking at. We're not just looking at the green shades. You know what this means: yellow, red, orange. That means some really heavy rain. There's 12 p.m. That is midday right there tomorrow. We're talking about some heavy rain tomorrow. And altogether from now through Friday, we're looking at anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain for most of us. Most of us will pick that up. That's going to be on average. But some of us 3, maybe even 4 inches of rain, guys, before we even hit the weekend. Weekend's still a few storms in there, but I would still stick to your plans. Just know it. They last 30 minutes to about an hour, and then they move on. So I'd stick to your plans, but you might have to dodge some of those thunderstorms on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But Thursday, don't make any plans.
Not much dodging that, huh?
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right.
All right, we're well informed of
Yeah,
that.
at least we know.
Coming next, the health risk associated with menopause and another reason to get off of the couch.
Weijia Jiang has details in this Better Living report.
We all know that sitting too much is bad for you. Now, new research from Sweden says it can be deadly. The 45-year study followed nearly 800 men and linked low physical activity to a high risk of death, second only to smoking. Another international study finds exercise alone can cut down on the number of obese women who develop diabetes during pregnancy. Researchers tracked nearly 100 obese expectant moms and found exercise lowered blood pressure and the risk of gestational diabetes. And the age a woman goes through menopause can increase her chances of diabetes. That's according to a new Kaiser Permanente study of nearly 125,000 women. It shows women who start menopause before age 45 or after 55 are at an increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Those are some of today's top health stories. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Washington.
Coming up next, is your dog or your cat at risk of rabies?
What you need to know about the risks and how to keep your pets safe. Next on WKYT.
Welcome back. Great to have you with us here on WKYT News. A stark question for you here. Is your pet up to date on rabies shots?
Dr. Butch Schroyer with the Animal Care Clinic joins us to talk about the risk and also, very important, the prevention.
Yes. Well,
Glad you're
one of
here.
the things, rabies is so important, and we just got a little reminder from Dr. John Poe, the veterinarian, who's our state public health veterinarian, reminding everybody that there are not waivers. You have no medical waivers. Rabies is required by law in the state of Kentucky for cats, dogs, and ferrets. So there's vaccines, and all those animals have to be vaccinated appropriately. There are 3-year vaccines available. There's 1-year vaccines, and so you need to know what your veterinarian is giving so you keep your time up to date appropriately. So the one of the reasons rabies is such a big deal is there's over 50,000 people get killed every year by rabies. And
That many?
50,000 people.
50,000 people
Isn't that amazing?
die from rabies. Now, fortunately for us in the United States, the vast majority are in Asia and Africa. We've only had 2 people die from rabies in 2015. From the research I was looking at, just trying to take some numbers. So we're fortunate because we've been vaccinating for a long time. Our biggest risk for people is from bats at this point in time. They tested, in the first 6 months in the state of Kentucky, they tested over 700 animals. They had 7 animals test positive. Out of the 7 animals that tested positive, 4 of those were bats. 1 was a fox, and the other 3 were skunks.
All right, so
2 were skunks.
if it is primarily bats or wild animals, so to speak, why are the pets that you may keep near your home or in your home
Our
at
dogs and
risk?
cats are direct contact to the wildlife, and so if they provide the buffer, because we don't know where the dog goes when it's out, we don't know where the cat goes when it's out, and the cats and dogs come in and they're in direct contact with us. So if they get exposed unknowingly by us to a rabid animal, they become rabid. That's where we had our problem. And since the 20s, they've been vaccinating for rabies regularly here through the health department, and we've had good vaccines. Hence, we have our numbers are not 50,000 in the United States. We're at 2. We're at very low numbers. The bat was 1 transmission. The other was bit by a dog while a person was bitten in the Philippines by a rabid dog and died after they got back to the United States.
But it shows you, and anybody who's an animal owner knows that a lot of times pets love to bring you a present,
Oh,
a
yes, they will
prize
do
of something that they have gotten in the yard.
And you don't know what they did to get that prize, and they may have been in that scuffle and been exposed, and if they're not vaccinated, we don't we don't know what our
So
risk is.
there's no question you need to vaccinate.
Yes, by law and by health risk.
And always gives you an opportunity as well to see the animal when they come in.
And for us, it's not just about the
check
vaccine.
out.
We're more important. We know the real risk for pets practically is the other things that go on. But law says you have to do it, and it does give us an opportunity to see your pet do their exams.
All right. Good
It's
reminder.
a reminder.
Yes.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming. Next, an excellent opportunity for children to reach their highest potential.
If you have 5 to 8 year olds, they can be a part of the 4-H Clover Bud program. Details on a fun cookout event next on WKYT.
Good to have you with us on WKYT News. If you have children ages 5 to 8, maybe grandkids, here's a great opportunity for them to get involved in their community. Fayette County 4-H is holding the Clover Bud Kickoff Cookout.
And Mary Jane Little is a 4-H Youth Development Program Assistant. She's here to tell us more about it. Welcome, glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first tell us what the Clover Bud is.
Clover Buds is an introductory program for our 4-H program. Like you said, ages 5 to 8, and it just kind of introduces kids to what all 4-H has to offer.
What a great way to get them involved at a young age. Now, what is going to be going on with this event?
On August 11th, starting at 5 o'clock, we're going to have a cookout. We'll either grill or get something catered depending on the turnout. And what I want everyone to do is just RSVP by August 9th. And we're going to have some fun activities and games set up. We're going to vote on a club name for our Clover Buds this year. Just kind of have enrollment forms. It's free to come, so no cost for that this year. So we're just trying to get the community involved and offer something fun.
For those who may not be familiar, what does 4-H offer to kids?
4-H offers so much for our youth. A lot of people know us for our summer camps, but we go way beyond that. We go into schools for school enrichment and school clubs there. We offer all sorts of clubs at our office, ranging from shooting sports and riflery to dog club, sewing club, cooking club, rabbit club. We had just had our county fair, so the rabbits did their little agility course. It was a lot of fun. So there's something for everyone.
And you really are introducing these kids to life skills.
Yes.
You know, 4-H is something that can take them, I've often heard, you know, through life, and people always kind of look back at that as a good opportunity, don't they?
Yes, definitely. We're all about empowering our youth and teaching them to be well-rounded citizens. So.
Well, you said it's free. Do they need to reserve a spot or just show up on that day?
Yep, if they could just email me at maryjane.little@uky.edu. They can just email me, say they want to come, tell how many are coming, just for a food count.
And so you do want that a couple of days ahead.
Yes. And we're going to be having the event at our Fayette County Cooperative Extension office located on 1140 Red Mile Place.
All right, sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun with some essential skills to be learned. Hey, thank you, Mary Jane. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
All right. Going to be watching weather carefully this afternoon. We've had those occasional pop-up storms. It's tomorrow when they'll be much more numerous. Here's Micah.
Yeah, absolutely about that. Now, here's what I want you to pay attention to right now. Back toward 460 and Mountain Parkway. We're getting one thunderstorm set up after another. This one just rolled through Paintsville. The next one in line is about to roll through Paintsville here in just about 5 to 10 minutes starting. And then the next one in line after that in southern Morgan County is going to be rolling through, looks like Paintsville, just the trajectory of that, the movement of it. So if you get that, that's where you can get those isolated flooding spots, guys. Got to watch Paintsville in Johnson County the next hour or two for possible flooding.
All right, it has just been so hazy, hot, humid, something had to give, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for being with us for WKYT News at noon, and our next newscast is at 4.
Make it a great day, everybody.